but it's so seductive. And it's so easy to hit the easy button, to play life on easy mode. And this is something that I've been lulled back into. One really integral aspect of personal development that is a bottleneck for a lot of people, myself included, it's this hump that we just have to get over, is to do things differently, to be willing to do so, to be willing to be seen in a different light, to be rendered a pariah, to risk that, to be an outcast, to get outsized, outlier-like outcomes. We have to be an outcast. We have to be different. We have to be several standard deviations above the norm, above the mean. And what that requires is outcome independence, not living on the momentum of how other people are perceiving you. And I used to really struggle with this, in spite of knowing damn well that the 2 liters of Coke that Chris and Glenn were kicking back in my first job outside of high school, I was a DSP, a direct support professional, the recognition that those 2 liters of Coke, probably not particularly prudent, not exactly the most health optimizing consumption. And so early on, I could see the writing on the wall. I could see that if I did what everybody else was doing, I was going to get what everybody else was getting. And I didn't find that particularly compelling. So what I did was I started meal prepping. And part of that meal prep was the recognition that that was the easy part. The easy part was the meal prep. I'm a very meticulous, methodical, and conscientious individual. The hard part for me was crossing the chasm of consuming that meal. Like, I would do all of the work, all of the prep work, but then I had so much resistance to, during the day, at lunchtime, at work, pulling out my highly concerted and perfectly perfected meal amidst individuals who would just order takeout, for example, or just nonchalantly consume Doritos out of the bag, just like the noise of the bag I can remember. And it never dawned on them that that was not particularly excellent behavior. I don't know why, but I've just always had this appreciation for excellence. And I used to watch no shortage of montages, compilations of just the best of the best of, for example, a particular athlete or a particular musician, just someone who really exuded excellence in their domain of mastery. It's just something that has always really resonated with me. And so I knew that to actualize my potential and to step into the light that really gives me life, I needed to be different. And maybe that's true of you right now. It's still true of me. There's still this omnipresent resistance that I have to doing the difficult things, front loading the difficulty of life, waking up every morning and playing life on hard mode. It's just so sedating otherwise, but it's so seductive, and it's so easy to hit the easy button, to play life on easy mode. And this is something that I've been lulled back into just by default. It's just the default mode. And it's just so easy to find ourselves in the passenger seat of life, to not take the wheel and have deliberation, have intentionality, have direction, much like the cue ball in a game of billiards. And so if you have that resistance right now, if you're like, man, I'm just gonna do the thing. I'm just gonna play life on easy mode. I'm not going to put forth a considerable degree of deliberation. I would just ask of you to consider where that takes you. Where is that road going to take you in life? What are you going to arrive at? And what sort of satisfaction, if any, are you actually going to be able to garner from that? Realizing that there was actually a higher expression that you could have emitted. And that other people, when interacting with you, could have got to experience that. And just think of all of the people that you're depriving of that really get robbed of the best of you. But really no one else than yourself. You're just cheating yourself. You're just cheating yourself of the life that you could have lived and the high vibe expression that you could have experienced. And so what this requires is strategy. You can't just haphazardly proceed in life without some sort of a map. And so that's what I'm really hoping to give you, is a map that really helps you better navigate life, but a meta map that says, much like this really famous French painting, this is not a pipe. So this is not a map, but it's an invitation to explore the territory. It's the map that tells you that it's just a map. It's a painting of a pipe that tells you that it's not really a pipe. It's just a picture of the pipe. It's just a map that in the bottom right-hand corner says, this is the legend that worked for me. And I want you to modify that. I want you to calibrate that to the precise stride length that in an idiosyncratic fashion is specific and hyper-tailored to you. All I can do is tell you what worked for me, how I found my freedom, how I reversed this rare disease called eosinophilic esophagitis, how I broke free from the proverbial shackles and imprisonment, the bars that I had erected, how I found freedom from that, and how I feel at ease with myself, and I really feel like I'm at home in life, and I feel free. And that freedom is something that masquerades so profoundly, and it resonates so intimately with me, that if I had a magic wand, that's really all that I would want for you, is to have that freedom. So in the absence of that wand, the best thing that I can give you are these messages, are these transmissions, these orations that I hope inspire you to find your freedom. I love you very much. And until next time, find your freedom. Peace.